summer break is over for the British Touring Car Championship, and going to Snetterton this weekend is triple British Touring Car Champion Gordon Shedden. Gordon's great to catch up with you here at Knockhill, and you head to Snetterton with a 11-point lead in your pocket in the championship. What's your thoughts ahead of the round?
Yeah, it couldn't be more different from last year when I was ninth in the championship and over 50 points off the lead. So, yeah, I think it's the first time ever in my touring car career I've actually led the championship at half distance. But so I treat that as a positive. But in the same breath, I know how quickly the tables can turn and how tough the second half of the year is going to be.
Snetterton's a place where you've always gone quite well at. It must be high on your list of liked circuits around the UK.
Yeah, I think the Civic works well around there. It's had a great time there last year. Qualified on pole position, won race 3, which was fantastic. A repeat of that this year would be just what the doctor ordered to start second part of the season.
Right, okay, you brought up pole position there. I wasn't going to mention it. Your teammate Matt Neal has had 2 pole positions this year. He's been kind of in the driver's seat in that department. Is it something that you're bothered about? Are you looking for a pole, or is it just all about the race results?
Yeah, I mean it's just really hard for me at the minute because I've got 75 kilos of success ballast in the car. So pole positions are kind of out with my reach. Matt had a couple of bad runs early in the season, had a little bit less ballast, and boom, couple of pole positions, and brought him right back into the title hunt. So, there's 1 point to play for on a Saturday and a whole lot of points to play for on the Sunday. So Sundays are my focus just now.
I like that. As Jeff Smith would say, boom, pole position, just like that. The latest Dunlop tyre test for the British Touring Car Championship was at Snetterton. What did the team go through? What kind of procedures do you do at a Dunlop tyre test?
There was a couple of different things that the team had to run through, enough really for Matt to kind of go through. There was some steering parts, some geometry parts, there's some new development parts for next year as part of the TOCA controlled kit, and obviously a new tyre as well. So very much a systems check running through, doing what Dunlop required us to do, what RML wanted us to do as well. And then I believe it poured with rain for the second half of the second day, so nobody did a great deal. So yeah, I think, been there before. I've gone round and round in circles for 2 days at a tyre test and ended up back where we started with setup wise. So I don't think it's a big problem that we only ran one car.
We run Dunlop tyres up here on our Honda Civic Type R's, but what's the race tyre like on your race car? Does it last long throughout the course of the race? Because the racing in the Touring Car Championship is fabulous, but what do the Dunlop tyres bring to the actual series?
Well, for this year we've got a slightly wider Dunlop tyre from what we had last year, slightly bigger in the sidewall as well, slightly different construction. So I think what we're seeing in the tyre has been a lot more consistent this year. I think as ever, as soon as you go bigger with the tyre, you do get a lot more footprint on the ground, and the degradation's a little bit less. But ultimately, that's the only things that connect your car to the ground. You've got to make them work in the best way possible. And that's still what everyone's striving for, to get the most out of the tyre. And obviously as conditions change, as temperatures change, it's peaks and troughs, whether it suits front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, and things as the season goes on.
Goodwood, the Festival of Speed. We saw you in a very special, albeit still a Honda, but a different Honda. We saw you in the 1968, I think it was, Formula 1 car. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but the beautiful little RA.
Yeah, I'll correct you because it was 67. But
I was close, I was getting there. I was going to say 67, but I bailed.
That's about the first motorsport history thing you've got wrong in about the last 10 years. But no, 67, John Surtees Italian Grand Prix winning car, which is an incredible piece of machinery. You look at it, the kind of waterfall exhausts off the back of it, and to get to drive something which lives in the museum in Motegi in Japan. 6 kind of Japanese guys kind of accompany it, and it gets treated with kid gloves. So yeah, could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to drive it, and certainly I wasn't going to bend it, that's for sure.
No, understandable. What was it like to fit in? Because, those cars are meant to be completely tiny. We know the late, great John Surtees was a very small man himself, but, how did you fit in it? Was it a squeeze, or, I'm not saying you're big, but did you fit in okay?
No, but I was never going to tell them that, so it certainly wasn't built for somebody that's 6'1". I don't carry a lot of weight, but God, the thing was absolutely tiny, and I certainly couldn't race it. I mean, my knees were tucked underneath the dashboard, my shoulders were against the bars at the side of the chassis. But when the Japanese kind of looked at me, and obviously in very broken English, they kind of looking and nodding and thumbs up, and I was kind of taking a deep breath, going, yeah, definitely.
Everything's good to go on your part. Yeah, you also rode a couple of motorbikes, so as well you rode Joey Dunlop's TT bikes, which was I was very impressed with that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, so the SP1, which would be Joey's last Isle of Man TT winning bike, which is incredible. I mean he won that in year 2000, doing he was 48 years old then when he won that, and 126 miles an hour plus round the Isle of Man. It's a fair old effort, but dead interesting to see how much technology and the bikes have moved on in such a short time as well. You know, to go from 2000 when the dashboard was literally a rev counter and a temperature gauge to what you have now with all the gizmos and gadgets and fandangled things. It's quite interesting to see.
Okay, let's look ahead. You've got Snetterton this weekend, which we wish you the best of luck at that. A couple of weekends after that, though, we're going to be here. You know, we're going to be at Knockhill. It's the home round. There's always a little bit more pressure ramped on you. You know, you deal with it very well. But looking forward to getting a good home support at Knockhill and still coming in as championship leader. Fingers crossed.
I hope so. You know, it's to come in here leading the championship would be great. It's still the only time I get to race in Scotland. You know, I get to race in Scotland once a year, and I've said before, it doesn't give me any more speed coming here. You know, people say, oh, you'll have a big advantage because you know the circuit, and you know, absolutely not. What it does do is definitely give me an extra bounce in my step, because the support you see the flags that people have had made up, and it's just incredible. I love every minute of it. Yeah, you're right, there's a lot of pressure. Sometimes feel like there's a big target painted on the back of the car for that particular weekend, but I'm also conscious of the fact that, you know, the points, you know, gained here are worth the same as they are anywhere else, and it's part of the bigger picture of, you know, hopefully getting to Brands with a chance to retain this championship.
Does it also make it a bit more special? You get to spend a night in your actual bed at home.
It does, yeah, rather than the motorhome. So yeah, home from home. It's always nice to wake up in the morning and have that kind of familiar surroundings, and just so many people. You know, it's nice to see the recognisable faces, and you know, I spend so much time away racing. It is almost nice to have an inadvertent weekend at home.
Get your tickets booked for the Knockhill round for the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Guys, we look forward to seeing you here. It's going to be a festival weekend. There's camping. Make sure you come along. Support Flash. #Flash. Until then, Gordon, thanks very much. Good luck this weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Perfect, thanks.